Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about American politics in the Joe out, Kamala in era. And today we're going to talk about the astonishing wisdom brought forward by Jon Stewart about the DNC convention, the Democrat National Committee's convention. And he just broke it down. And we need to talk about what he said today, because man, was it true. And it's shocking, and there's ramifications from what he said. So let's dig into this. All right. So what happened, right? So the DNC convention ends, and Jon Stewart gets on, and he has on a talking head from one of the major news sites, right? And I listened to this on Hark, okay? And Hark is fantastic. They take a look at all the news that's happening, and then they, so John had an hour-long show. And so what he did was, John had an hour-long show, and what he did was, and Hark comes along and they cut out the best part of this. It was shocking what he said. So he talks to this talking head, and I don't know where he's from. It's probably CNN or some similar news site. And he was saying, he's like, you do coverage for these companies, and I just saw the coverage for what happened at the DNC. And here's what he said. Here's what Jon Stewart said. He said, I have never seen more coverage. Oh, actually, let's do this. So this talking head. So he says to the talking head, he kind of does like a softball throw up. And he's like, it looks like you guys just celebrated with the DNC. It was like there really wasn't any real coverage, right? Like, it was kind of wild. And, what happened? Almost nothing happened in that convention, right? And the guy goes, oh, yeah, I understand what you're saying. And the reason why was they had done nonstop coverage of this convention, but what were they covering, right? And this is what Jon Stewart was saying. So this talking head says, well, guess what? Michelle Obama was there, and she was there in the seats. And that's important, right? Like, because that's a POC woman, there supporting a POC woman, right? And that's worth covering, right? And it was shocking, because I think Jon Stewart savagely insulted this, mainstream media talking it straight to his face, and the guy didn't even realize it, right? So Jon Stewart's response to this, listen to this. He says, I have never seen more coverage of less news in my entire life. And he nailed it. Like CNN and all the mainstream sites. And then Jon Stewart went further, and he said, it's like watching you guys do a first draft, right, of a play that's been written by the political party, and feeling the need to comment in real time on it. And what he was saying is that you mainstream media people are not doing real coverage. You are covering nothing in high detail, and taking huge stories and doing no coverage, right? And it was profound, and he was dead on right. And to tell the truth, I just want to let you know, I did not watch one single minute of the DNC convention, because as a political as a political commentary veteran, I knew absolutely nothing said would be real policy, would be of real significance, would be anything worth it was not worth a single reporter showing up to that convention. Nothing that happened there was real. There could have been a contested convention. Kamala could have had to have won the position, right? Instead, the DNC had already decided what was going to happen 4 weeks earlier, right? And this was every major news site coming and covering no news like it was all the news. While real stories are out there, things are really happening, and there's no coverage, right? So we have all the coverage on nothing, and many things get no coverage that deserve all the coverage, right? And get this, Jon Stewart does not get out of this unscathed, right? This was brilliant, and this was wise, and this was actual journalism. And you know what? Fabargle him, right? Fabargle that guy. Fabargle Jon Stewart, because it shows the lie, right? He lied to everyone for a decade. He was like, oh, yeah, it's a comedian doing the news. We're making jokes. Here's jokes, everybody. It's jokes. It's not news. Every real journalist is a comedian now, and the comedians are the ones who have badges that say real journalist. And he built it brick by brick. He's a real journalist. He always was. He never told a single joke, right? He told real news with comedian timing. And he changed global news coverage forever, so that at this point, no one will even listen to news if it doesn't have a laugh line. And every night, the real newscasters have a monologue, and the jokesters are reading the news straight. And he built that, and he's still lying about it. It's not funny. It was never funny, right? Like, and it's ridiculous. It's like, you can't say the wise, incredible, profound things he says with real coverage and pretend you're not a real journalist. And he did it to avoid the responsibility of real journalism, right? It's repugnant what he did. He's super profound. He's super wise. He's super intelligent, but he lied for a decade and nobody called him out for it. And he built a world in which comedians are real journalists who have none of the responsibility of journalists, and real journalists who have real journalism badges are jokes. They're the jokes. It's incredible. It's incredible where we've landed, right? And I'm the only one who sees it. Like, not pleasant. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.